Hey guys, so here is another big update for Gladiator Guild Manager, and in this update we are finally announcing the release date, which is October 14th. So in less than 3 months you will be able to check out the game, well, early access of the game. We've been working on it for 2 years and 9 months so far, so it will be like rounded up to 3 years. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this update since it's a bit long. There is a lot of stuff here, so if you want to read it, I will leave the link in the YouTube description, but if you want to hear me talk about it, here it is. So what we have a lot of new items. We have synergy, gladiators are rebalanced, then we have consumable slots and more stuff. So here we go. Here are the new items. We had like about 24 items so far, and now we really like put all the items that we need for the amount of arenas that we had. We had like items for 4 arenas and beta had 6 arenas. So anyway, let's go through this. So we have 3 types of items. We have regular items. Actually, I'm going to open the game and show you there. So here we go. So we have regular items. So these would be like classical items that are just giving you some kind of stats, right? Then we have consumable items like before. And we have one new type of items, and that is universal. So this kind of item doesn't have level or anything because it's useful throughout the whole game. Because here's what this specific item does. If you give it to a ranged unit that is shooting projectiles, if it hits enemy that has a frozen buff on it, like Crymancer can throw a frozen buff, it will deal higher damage, 30% higher. But here is the thing, we have a basic version, we have a rare version and epic version, and each does more damage. So this is like the beginning of the synergy that we wanted to introduce to the game so that you can combine interesting combinations. Alright. Here is another one. This is the item that we kind of had. It is just now moved to the universal items. It returns damage when somebody hits the enemy, and then there is another version of it that returns damage only if the damage is blocked, but it returns more. Then another really important thing that we have here is consumable item slots. So this was a big problem because people would go ahead and have like a strong gladiator, then they would put all the items to this gladiator and there would be no space for consumables. So now we have that. Consumables are a little cheaper, they are a little stronger, and they should be much more useful now. Let's see. All right, here is another example of this synergetic universal item. So it's fire blades, and what it does, it's hitting burning targets 45% stronger, but it's a rare item, so it's really not going to show up in the shop very often. But eventually you will be able to craft, you will be able to take like 3 of those, let's say 3, if you have 3 of those Arrowhead of Frost that are basic, you can put them together and make one that is rare, and then 3 rare would make 1 epic. But we don't have that yet, and let's go on. So we did total rebalancing and some AI improvements. And now rebalancing. The problems were like you would have, let's say, Archer or Vorg, and like Archer, she would take all her damage from agility, and then accuracy is also calculated from agility. Execution time is calculated by agility, cooldown was calculated by agility, and then dodge was calculated by agility. So when she levels up, let me use hacks. So let's say, I should have bought her first. Alright, so now you would just be inclined to go ahead and spend all points on agility because it's the main thing. But now we changed that, and now, as you can see, damage is mostly derived from strength. So if you want high damage Archer, you want to put some strength into her. If you want her to shoot, to be more accurate or to shoot faster, you're gonna put more agility. Then cooldown is connected to intelligence, like she doesn't need much. Like if we increase just by 1, you will already see some difference. So there is much more strategy involved now in choosing these stats. And then also stamina was a big problem. Like we had this feature where when unit runs out of stamina, they would have this thing called usability even if you don't have stamina, just so they don't stand around and do nothing. But the problem with that is that they would only hit like 80% of the damage, and we saw some YouTubers playing and so on, and we noticed that the stamina wasn't really that important for most units, except perhaps units that are like spellcasters and so on, that need more stamina. So now this is changed. Now if they don't have enough stamina, they will have to wait a little, get stamina regenerated and shoot again. And so it is another important stat to consider, and you will then watch the battle, see like, okay, this Archer, she is in middle of the battle losing stamina, and I really need to give her some stamina item or put some points in stamina. Alright, so also movement speed is another thing that was broken before. It was like when Gladiator hits level 5 or 6, you would have enough movement speed, you would max it out, and that would be that. So now it takes them longer to get movement speed to like more decent level, and in that way, if you want like knight that is fast and that can run towards like back line, or if you want Vorg that is really quick and that would do his job, then you would need to put those points as well. Alright, what else? Speed of battle. Like we had this execution speed, execution time was really low. Like right now, like this is one of the lowest, 0.4 seconds that you can get to. Right now we have 1.2, and well, that's the base, but she's low level. And they after you level them up to like level 10, give them good items and so on, they would all go to this minimum 0.2 attack speed, and battle would happen so quickly that you can't even follow what is going on unless you slow it down. So that is fixed, and now everybody needs a little longer to attack. Like she's kind of fast, but you can see Orc, he needs like almost a second to attack, or let's see, what do we have? Vorg, even longer. Of course, that is you can decrease this with agility. And here, let's see, when we play this battle, let me play it in full screen. As you can see, everything happens, it's a bit slower, you can follow a bit better, but still it's pretty fast. So we just encourage you guys to use this slider and just slow it down and see what is going on. As you can see now, we can really see that Archer is aiming for this Pyromancer. Here she goes. Is she gonna make it? Yeah, she got her. And that's probably why we're gonna win the battle. So that is just a reminder. Alright, so movement speed, we talked about that. Yeah, this is giving us more strategy. And yeah, just make sure that you check all those numbers that you can roll over, right? Because you might want to see what is affecting what, like dodge for the Vorg is based on agility, but attack is mostly on strength and a little bit on agility. Then we have, let's say, Priestess, and her heal is based on intelligence, but her cooldown is based on agility. So usually spellcasters have cooldown based on agility and melee fighters have cooldown based on intelligence. That is because spellcasters already use agility here for most of their main abilities, right? So if we make agility intelligence also for cooldown, it will make them it will make another problem where you would just put everything to intelligence, so you can here decide, okay, should I increase her casting speed maybe, or her like points that she can heal or put shields on. Let's see. Alright, so since we have editor now and since we have been rebalancing everything and so on, we gone ahead and fixed few of the problems. Like check this first picture. Maybe, yeah. Okay, so you see now her arrow will go through him. And this is how the game works right now, until we update it today. See? And now it will go through him. This is because we wanted her to be able to shoot targets behind him while she's fighting him, because she cannot use arrow when she is in melee fight with the orc. But now this is fixed, and now you will see that her last arrow will actually hit him. And there we go, she made it. And this was really problematic. I've seen people on YouTube really getting pissed off by seeing this happen and losing battle because of it. But still, if we go ahead and see here, so she's engaged fighting this melee unit, but she's still able to shoot through and shoot the other unit far away, because he's in her minimal range. She cannot shoot him, but she can shoot somebody far away. So that is better. Now Brigand. What used to happen here is that this let me open it here again. This Brigand, she used to what used to happen is that the game would start, and then she would not know exactly what enemy units are going to do in that first moment. Who did they target? What is happening? And then she just decides to shoot her regular spear. But now she takes a moment to think and sees, okay, the orc is targeting me, I better throw a spear. Then we have another thing here. As you can see, she's fighting the ranged unit, so she won't throw this net on the ranged unit, but she has an ally over there, and ally is being chased by knight. So before she does anything, she's going to help her ally, and then she's going to keep fighting her ranged unit. And then the hunter, he's a little bit better. He's not perfect. He still can mess up a little bit. We need a little bit more work with him. But as you can see, he put the trap. The trap was not even working. It was just dealing damage, but it was supposed to stop enemies, and now it's doing that. As you can see, it's bigger, so they can kind of step on it, and he can kill the ghoul. But he can still mess it up. He can still move in the wrong direction or something like that, but we're gonna work on that. Alright, so synergy buffs. We have a bunch of buffs in the game, so if we were to go and start a game, let's say... Alright, let's start with these two. This is probably not going to be a good team, but never mind. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. So now when we open Archer, these are her quirks, but this is also where all the buffs appear. So if it's gray frame, that means it's a quirk. But now she can throw buff onto the Archer, and she can throw shield, that is one buff, and this is blast, this is another buff. So let's hit fight. She's throwing blast right now because she's not in immediate danger, and now she has blast. You can even see some small animation. We're gonna update this probably, and you can see here that she has blast buff. And what is different about those three buffs, other than a bunch of other buffs that we have, is that they are going to be synergy focused. So we're gonna have those kind of items like wait, let's exit, like I just shown here. So frozen is one of the synergy buffs, and that one is going to like increase 30% damage of the damage to the targets that are frozen. So if we had like a Cryomancer, that we don't, then we could give Archer this Arrowhead of Frost, and she would deal 30% higher damage. And then you can really combine teams that work together really well. And so Priestess has ability to cast this blast, then Cryomancer has frozen buff. He had that already, but it didn't work like it should. Now it really works. And there is a burning. Pyromancer doesn't knock out anymore, but she sets everybody on fire, so it's pretty cool. Check it out. She's OP, she's really high level, but again, if somebody had arrow of fire, they would deal higher damage. Now we have another thing, movement preventing resistance. This means that if Cryomancer stops somebody from moving, and then he stops that same unit again from moving, the unit will automatically get this buff. And this buff, movement preventing resistance, is going to last for 12 seconds and won't let anything like completely prevent movement for that unit. This is just so that you cannot really abuse like a bunch of Cryomancers, hunters with traps, brigands, I don't know what, and keep units in place. So that would be helpful. Alright, now we have some minor improvements and polishes. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, blind fight. We used to have blind fights here when we enter this arena, and it gives you like 5 units and you just started the game, so that is not happening anymore. Then as you can see here, I'm going to increase the size of this. Health bars are now dependent on the color of the team. So even though this is pretty messy battle, right, you can kind of see who is who, because these health bars, and even now when a necromancer is raising somebody, you can see the red bar and you know who this unit is. It's even more problematic because the unit is kind of greenish. We can't see it here, but overall it should be clear who is fighting who. Okay, so we have this little thing here. We're gonna have bank loan at some point, but this was a empty space, so we just wanted to explain that. Another thing about the bank is this feature already worked, but we didn't explain it. So if you press left click, you get 5 points up or down, and if you press right click, you get 1 point up and down. And let's see. Alright, so some of you maybe didn't know, I'm kind of talking like if you already followed the game development or if you played the beta or not, but you can probably follow even if you didn't. Overall, in a blind fight, let me enter the blind fight. In blind fight, this means that you can put your units here, and then when you lock team, you cannot use any more units, but you can drag items, you can switch their positions and so on. We've seen some YouTubers playing and thinking this is it and they have to click fight, but no, you can actually drag items and put them on other units and so on. You just cannot interact with any of those units that we don't even have right now, but let's see. Okay, now if you want to sell Gladiator, this was like a kind of small thing, but sometimes it happens. You want to revive them or you want to close them, and you want to close the menu or something, and you press sell. Like it happened to me once or twice, and I sold one of my best Gladiators this way, and now we have this panel and we can say yes or no. Okay, now we have these little stats here that didn't show before. As you can see, it's really like for people who like math or something, because it's really small numbers, but you can see how much agility is actually affecting the one agility, how much it is affecting this execution time or cooldown. So those are small numbers, but still, for those of you who like to calculate stuff, they are there. Now next thing is that we can see how much our gladiators will cost. Let me just use hacks to actually buy a few of them. Oh, full house. Alright, and now when we see the wages, there you go, we can see how much they will actually cost. This was visible here in Guild as well, but some people were asking for this and now we have it. And there is various other polishes and things that are making game more intuitive and so on, but this is big enough wall of text. Alright, so we have some bug fixes like let's see, Graveyard Championship used to have this kind of a bug where purple and rare, not purple and rare, but purple and blue coupons, they used to have like same difficulty in some situations, and now this is fixed. Some level editor bugs are fixed. There are still few, but it's alright. That's not the main game anyway. Now Gladiator discount used to have some problems where in some cases when you open the panel you don't see the discount. The Gladiator upgrades, Gladiator building upgrades, like here, if we upgrade this, experience gain should be like normal, and if we upgrade it, it's 25% higher, and this did not work at all, and we had a game like this for a long time. Nobody noticed, and then Daniel noticed at one point, and he was like, this is not working. But now this is working together with if she would have work that is making her gain more experience, that is working too. So some championship can really level up fast. Alright, let's see, selling equipment items. Okay, so there were some problems here, like if we would do something like this, if you would sell directly here and go undo, it would go crazy, bad things would happen, but now it works. So that is solved. Also, if you, let's say we sell this, and now if you move items anywhere, this undo button will disappear, because maybe we take in the slot of this item, but Daniel made this work, and now it's good. And again, many other bugs, fixes and stuff, but we don't want to get into all of that. Alright, so what is next? Next is we want to try this fatigue rest time mechanic. Basically what it is that we would first of all remove cooldown on a Ring of Death. You can play it whenever you want. And then when you play with any of the gladiators, they would have some kind of rest time. Like now, they die and you have to wait for them to revive. Now you would have to wait for them to rest before you can use them again. And that way, where is our guild? That way it would make sense to have a bigger gladiator, like, let me get some gold. Now you would be able, little bug, now you would be able to have more gladiators, because maybe this is your A team, this is your best team, but then they are resting, and then a quest popped up, and then you want to go ahead and do the quest, but these guys are resting, so you're gonna try it with the other gladiators, and you have reason to level them up as well. And right now, the game is forcing you to have like 5, maybe 6 gladiators, max out their levels, and that would be it. But now we've done few things, like their levels are less impactful, so they get a little less stats from the level, so you can't really go ahead and have like level Berserker should be able to kill Knight really easily, but if Knight is level 3 and Berserker is level 2, Knight is probably going to win. And now the stats are not that high, so the strategy will be much more important. And now that is more important, and at the same time they have this fatigue, so some of them are resting, so you're leveling the other ones, and then you would be using more strategy this way. And then when the championship comes, this fatigue and rest time is completely ignored. Like, everybody's rested, everybody's excited, it's a championship, they don't care. You can play the championship all 5 battles, they don't get fatigue, anything, and when the championship is done, the fatigue is back to what it was before. This is very important because championship is main part of the game, and this is when you want all your gladiators to be like there. And if we were to use fatigue in the championship, that would mean that last 15 days you wouldn't even play the game, you would just wait. And this is also solving this waiting problem, because now you're actually waiting for them to rest, and then maybe you have few gladiators that rested, and then you maybe want to try some of this Ring of Deaths, or maybe complete some quests that you can do with some gladiators, or maybe you go and fight Ring of Death and there is low level character that you can fight, so you want to put your best championship because he will get the fatigue and he will have to rest, so you put your like medium or low level, low tier champion gladiator, and maybe he can win and get some experience, and then you would overall get like bigger team and use more strategies. And with that, with bigger teams and more strategies, the tactics and strategy of course is more important, but also we can then do bigger battles. We can do this. We sometimes show these big battles that we make in editor, and people are like, oh, this is so cool, when will we get these battles? But it wasn't doable if you only have 5 characters that you level up to the max. But now it should be doable, and we will have some quests, like there will be, I don't know, people rebelling against the Baroness, and there is a big army that you need to fight, and for a lot of gold and so on. Another thing that I should mention probably is that when units die, right now they are behaving like having fatigue, like having rest time, and they have that cooldown. So we will probably bring back the mana crystals cost for revival. So it's a bit more, you don't really want them to die. It's going to cost you some mana crystals and also some time until they revive. Alright, another big thing that I'm talking now about things that we are planning to do next. This was the update. Maybe I missed some things. Maybe you should check this file too, but I covered most of them. Okay, so the next big thing that we really want to do is priority points, and this thing is important because we would be able. Let me again open some battle. Alright, let's use some gladiators. Log the team. Oops. And now we already have this. We already have priority points, and you can tell this orc to prioritize like support enemies. And when we click fight, he will ignore this guy and he will run and fight with the priestess. So let's do that. And he's doing exactly that. But the thing is that we want to expand that even more. We want to be able to click on Gladiator and then have like sort of bars above every enemy unit, and you would be able to drag these bars and tell each individual gladiator that you own who they should target more or less. Now this is not something that you have to play with, like they already have default setting who they should prioritize, they are good enough. But if you want to play like on a really hard mode, if you're playing maybe on permadeath or something crazy like that, then maybe you need like additional strategy, something more to do. And I'm sure some players would really appreciate this system because they have more control. This happens only before the battle starts, so you can't do it now. Now it's still like auto battle is happening. It's all about what you do before the battle and after the battle. But you can prepare them, you can tell them like prioritize one unit, like give him 7 points, give her 5 points, and let's imagine there is a little knight here, here's a knight, and give him just 1 point here, because we don't want to attack this tank, we want to kill these guys first. So that could really improve the game. And of course, more content. We need to improve some enemy formations. Some of them are pretty terrible. We haven't had a chance to work on that yet. More polishing, bug fixing, and so on. But overall, this is accidentally crossed. I need to check this text. So overall, the game is coming out, early access coming out in 3 months. So if you guys are interested, you can wishlist it or join our Discord community. I have all the links in the YouTube description. And of course, give us feedback. Tell us what you think about these new things. A lot of it right now is in items, because there is like 100 items and these synergetic items and so on. So big part of this update was this, but there are other things as well. Anyway, that would be it. Thank you for watching, and tell us what you think. Bye.